Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Tarot, and if you are Gemini, you are in the right place. We are going to be doing our October predictions / month ahead for our lovely Geminis. So I've got your pile here for the general energy of October, and then we are going to look into everything in more detail in every area of your life, and then we'll move on to advice. So let's get started with what we have as our pile here. We have the Judge, which this already feels pretty on brand Gemini, because I'm feeling a lot of duality here. I think that there's going to be a few different contradicting elements you'll be experiencing in October, but that's definitely within your wheelhouse. So we will get some more context around that. We have Truth Be Told. Looks like there's going to be some things that are revealing themselves to you in October. Grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. The Great Gathering. And Birch. Interesting. So off the bat already, sorry, I'm trying to place this so that you can see all of the wording. We'll do this. I'm seeing a lot of illumination happening for you in October, Gemini. I think that similar to the Judgment card, there's going to be a lot of things coming to the surface. I don't know how many of you have been waiting for some kind of answer to something, but for some of you that seems to be coming to light. For the rest of you, as I mentioned, it seems like there's going to be illumination on something that might have been a mystery before. Maybe a revelation is going to be had, or something you didn't even know that you didn't know is going to come to light. Either way, there's going to be some sort of reveal for you Geminis in October. For some of you guys, you might have lost something recently. It may be a person, it may be a thing. It's just something that might have caused you grief recently. I am feeling that for those of you who resonate with that, you are going to be leaving behind some of that grief in September and welcoming something new in October. It seems like there's going to be some moving on from that. Definitely a new beginning for some of you. I think that some of you guys are also going to be making some decisions on who is going to be involved in your closest circle. Some of you may be meeting someone new, or kind of making some decisions on your immediate group. And for those of you who might be distancing yourself from certain people in your circle who maybe don't serve your highest good, I think that there's going to be a little bit of grief around that. You might feel like you have to mourn a little bit when you have to make changes in your life, but this is a specific message for some of you who are going to be moving some people out of your circle in October. I think it's going to be something you grieve because you are distancing yourself from this person or these people because of the truth that came to light, is what I feel about some things. And you Gemini, I feel like you have very specific ideas on what you are looking for from a relationship, not necessarily a romantic one, but just the kind of standards you set for yourself and the people that you spend your time with. And I think you're going to be making a judgment of a sort based on something you learn on someone around you, and decide to distance yourself from them for your greater good. Looks like that's going to be the general energy of October. I do want to look a little bit more into this Birch here. I definitely feel like for some of you, there's also going to be someone new coming into your life. someone who is within your soul tribe, kind of like a destined meeting, so to speak, that's going to be happening for you in October. I feel that especially with this great gathering and this red string in the birch card, this kind of string always reminds me of the red string of fate. The way that this hand in this judge is reaching out to it, I feel like it kind of feels like a cycle. So for those of you who are going to be kind of pushing out someone who is not serving your greater good, at the same time or around the same time in October, you're going to be also welcoming someone from your soul tribe who is going to be serving your greater good. Either way, you're going to be learning some pretty illuminating things in October. So in birch, we have, in Irish communities, the traditional winter Yule log is cut from the birch tree. A broom of birch twigs is used to brush out the dust of the old year and bring in the new, and household fires are doused and then relit from the central Yule fire to bring the community together. You are facing a new beginning, but do not embark upon this future alone. You will have a stronger start if you rely on friends, family, or colleagues to support you through your first steps. Do not fear removing what is past its use. Exactly as I said, you're definitely going to be doing some clearing out in October, especially in the communities that you're in and in the people around you. So that being said, we're going to pull some cards to see each area of your life and what is going on in October. So let me shuffle you some cards. Spirit, may I have what Gemini's health is looking like? Oop, in October. Okay, we already got one. So we have the 5 of Swords upright, and this is the Spoopy Tarot. So swords are our bones here. This 5 of Swords is suggesting that some of you Geminis I'm hearing 2 different options here. For one, some of you may not have been putting your best foot forward in your health. Or this might be the case in October where maybe there's so much other things going on, but you're not putting your best foot forward in your health in October. There seems to be a lot of mental health emphasis here, specifically to do with your work with your ego. That might affect your health negatively in October. So keep an eye out for whatever situation this general energy is going to be pointing to, that you keep an eye on how your ego is making you feel in response to some of these things, and make an effort to see things in the most loving way possible. I'm not saying that to reprimand you, so to speak, but doing this makes sure that we also open up space for bringing the most love to ourselves and for you to be the kindest to yourself as well. So keep an eye out for any hiccups with ego when it comes to your health in October, Gemini. Spirit, may I have what Gemini's social life is going to look like in October, please? We have the Ace of Wands in reverse. So it looks like social occasions are going to be a little bit on the back burner compared to usual, Gemini. Maybe you're taking a step back and recollecting your energy, or this just happens to be that everyone's busy or something like that. But in general, it looks like social life is going to not quite feel as magical or as exciting in October. I think there's going to be a few hiccups in trying to solidify or start actual plans with people. Maybe you are stuck in the conversations and then nothing really comes to fruition, so to speak. Or you really just don't feel like seeing a lot of people in October, is the general feeling that I'm getting. Spirit, may I hear about how Gemini's creativity is going to be in October, please? Gemini creativity. Ooh. We've got 3 cards here. So we have the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. We have the 2 of Cups in upright and the 6 of Swords upright. I'm hearing there's going to be a general shift of some of your creative ideas in October, Gemini. For some of you, you might just clear out some of the ideas that you might have been brewing on, or some of the projects that you've been working on. Maybe you want to start from scratch, but I'm definitely feeling a kind of reset for some of you. Maybe there has been a project that hasn't really moved forward the way that, or turned out the way that you wanted it to, so you are finally making a decision to kind of chalk it up to what it is and move on to something new. I feel that some of you guys are setting your sights on a new creative project. Some of you guys might also be juggling a few different ideas when it comes to creativity in October. Either way, I'm feeling a lot of shifting, a lot of movement, and some change in your creativity in October, Gemini. Then creatively, it's going to be an eventful month. Spirit, what is Gemini's finances going to look like in October? Gemini's finances in October. We have the Queen of Swords. So it looks like your finances are... You're going to be very clear-headed about any financial decisions you're going to be making in October. I think that you're also going to get some ideas on how to advance your financial goals in October, Gemini. And you're going to be adopting sort of this confident, I'm feeling like a boss babe kind of energy when it comes to your finances in October. Basically, I'm sensing a lot of clarity and confidence for your finances in October. Maybe you feel very deserving in October, in particular for your finances, or there is a breakthrough to be had, but finances are looking good for you for October, Gemini. What is Gemini's career looking like in October? And I want to stress that career doesn't always have to be quite literal work, but it can also be your school or your studies. We have the 5 of Cups in reverse. For some of you guys in maybe a study group or at work, you might feel a little bit singled out from something, and it's unclear what the reason is yet. And that may not be the reality, but I am getting the sense that for something significant in October, you might feel a little singled out. There might also be a little disappointing energy when it comes to maybe are you comparing yourself to others a little too much in your career in October, Gemini? Where I get the sense that some of you might feel like everyone else is advancing really fast and you're kind of left behind. But remember that everyone moves at their own pace, Gemini, so be mindful of comparing yourself to others a little too much in career in October. What is romance for Gemini looking like, Spirit, in October? And this part is only for those of you who are interested. I know that not everyone is interested in their romance house, so this part is reserved for those of you who are. Totally up to you. Gemini romance in October. Oop, we've got the Ace of Pentacles, and I was just pausing because I wanted to feel if it was going to be upright or not, but it doesn't feel like it's supposed to be upright. So looks like some of you guys might be experiencing something new in terms of romance in October, whether it's starting a new relationship, or I'm feeling more like you're laying the groundwork for a future relationship or future romance. Maybe you're setting some intentions, or you're starting a Bumble profile or something like that. But I get the sense that October you're going to be, yes, laying some groundwork for romance to bloom in the future. Some of you guys might have been putting romance on the back burner lately. In October is going to be when you finally feel ready. Like this okay sign is what I'm seeing right here. You're feeling like now it's all systems go. Now you're feeling ready to get back out there. Okay, Gemini, so we are going to clear this out and move on to some advice for you. So we're going to kick this off with just a few cards to point out some important elements for October. So we're going to start with Spirit. May I know about a challenge that is going to come up for my Geminis in October? What is a challenge Geminis will face? Ooh, we have the King of Pentacles. So looks like you guys might have a little bit of trouble feeling. For some of you, I feel that you're gonna have some trouble feeling abundant, or maybe you have trouble receiving abundance in October. I'm not talking about externally. I think internally there might be some work to do around your feelings of how deserving you are and how easily abundance comes to you. I think that for some of you, there might be a financial decision to be made in October, and there might be a challenge for you in figuring out the best way to use some new funds coming in, or in particular how to invest your money the best way in October is a challenge I'm hearing for you, Gemini. Spirit, may I get some advice for what self-care my Geminis should do in October? And it's not that serious if you decide not to do this. This is kind of just a good placement for Spirit's advice on some good self-care to do for this October. Spirit, what self-care should my Geminis do in October? Ooh. We have energy work. So this can be a little general, But I feel like for some of you guys, you'll benefit from doing some general, maybe chakra cleansing, realigning your energy. I think that for some of you, spending some time in meditation will be helpful. Or if there's been an activity that really brings life to you that you've been putting off lately, this is the time to do it in October. Anything that helps you feel more realigned with your truer self or makes you feel more like yourself is what I'm thinking. Look into some activities that also make you feel more energized. For some of you, that might be exercise, that might be as different for some of you as like singing, as traveling. But everyone is going to have certain activities that really feel like they bring them some more life. And I think that that's the kind of thing you should be focusing on in October, Geminis. And Spirit, what is something my Geminis should be mindful of in October? I feel like those two want to come out. So we have got the Seven of Wands in reverse and the Five of Pentacles upright. I'm getting the sense that some of you guys might feel a little backed into a corner about the situation in October, Gemini, and just be mindful of staying calm if something like that happens. I'm also feeling that some of you might feel a little bit defensive or protective about some of your assets, and it might cause you to be a little bit hostile towards others in October. Maybe you're just going to feel a little bit touchy, so that's something to be mindful of. Yes, so definitely just be wary of feelings of defensiveness in October, or feelings of scarcity in particular. Remind yourself, Gemini, that your belief and your thought patterns really make a difference in how you respond to something. So if you guys end up feeling very defensive or scared about something, I'm really getting the feeling with the imagery on the Seven of Wands here that similar to some of your fears, so what is causing you to feel defensive is a lot smaller than it might seem at first. And to remind yourself of your strength, because you being this big alligator, and there might be these issues or these worries that you feel like are coming at you, but if you look at them more closely, while it seems like there's a lot, they are a lot smaller than you think that they are, and you are definitely big enough, metaphorically, to handle these issues, and it's all going to be okay. I'm also hearing the message to be mindful that Spirit is right there to guide you. I'm getting that feeling with this white stag in the background. Maybe you'll be faced away because you're so focused on these issues, but I think there's a reminder here to remember that you always have Spirit there backing you up and to not worry too much about that. So just be mindful of that for October. And lastly, remember that you are wiser than that our initial reactions to things are natural, but once you get the chance to process, remember that you are wiser than you think. So next, we are just going to open the floor for any advice from Spirit in October. It could be on what we've heard so far. It could just be general advice for October. This is really Spirit's time to give you some good advice for October. Spirit, may I have advice for Gemini in October to make the most of it? We're going to pull 4 cards here and some clarifiers. Ooh. We have number 1, Knight of Swords. I also feel like this one wants to come out. 10 of Swords in reverse. And I'm also getting Page of Wands in reverse and the 2 of Wands upright. So let me look at these real quick before we pull the clarifiers. Already I am sensing some mental cleanup to be done in October, Gemini. I get the feeling, first of all, some of you guys are going to be on the lookout, waiting for an important message to come in, something that you hold really dear to you, and it's going to be kind of like you're almost waiting at the mailbox for it. Kind of when you order a package that you're really anticipating and you basically are staring at the window for it to come in. I'm definitely feeling that kind of energy. It could be for a package. I feel like more so it's for some kind of communication coming in. But if that's the case, it's going to be a little bit delayed. It'll still arrive, but there's going to be a little bit of a hiccup in its arrival. So that's something to note for sure. I also feel like some of you guys are going to be kind of on your toes about another message. I'm feeling like this one is a little separate. And it's going to be a little bit more emotionally charged. Maybe you were having a conversation with someone, like say through text or something, and you've been waiting for their reply, but it's really bothering you that you don't hear back from it right away, and it's something that you're kind of really on your toes about. Something that's making you feel kind of anxious. So looks like there's going to be some waiting on messages in October that Spirit wants to make you aware of, but we might get some more context with some clarifiers. So that's what I'm going to do. Spirit, may I get clarification on this Knight of Swords, please? So the Knight of Swords clarified by the Queen of Wands. Interesting. I get the feeling that one of those messages I was telling you about is going to come from quite a distance. It's going to come from far away. Maybe it's a pen pal or something, because I'm even feeling for some of you guys like from the other side of the world. And it might come during a time that you are specifically celebrating or at some kind of party, is what I'm hearing. I'm also getting the sense that it's going to be a satisfying message, interestingly. Spirit, may I have a clarifier for this 10 of Swords, please? for this Ten of Swords in reverse? I have the Chariot in reverse, clarifying this Ten of Swords. Here, I feel that Spirit is calling you to take a strategic pause when you feel really stressed out in October and kind of take a lay of the land or the lay of the situation, Gemini. Especially with some of the stuff that we were mentioning earlier, with the Truth Be Told card and some illuminations coming out, and with that Judge archetype really being in the center point for the energy of October, I think that there is an additional message here to pause and really lean into making that judgment, or making some judgments on what you observe the situation around you to be, and also internally. Some of you might experience some kind of blockage. I'm feeling some kind of mental blockage that is happening. And even though you feel fine, you might not be upset or anything. That doesn't necessarily mean a mental blockage isn't there. And I get the feeling that Spirit is calling your attention to some kind of release that needs to be had for something in October. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. May I have a clarifier for the Page of Wands in reverse, please? For this Page of Wands in reverse, I'm also getting, I mentioned at the beginning of this advice section that a message you're waiting on might be delayed. I'm getting the feeling that it's more like it's lost in communication, or maybe there is a misunderstanding. We have the Queen of Cups clarifying this Page of Wands. I'm going to pull this last clarifier so I can look at everything as a whole. Two of Wands clarified by the Bat in reverse. Okay, so Gemini, I am feeling, in addition to everything I've said so far, that you're going to be looking for some answers for some questions in October, but it might seem like they are caught in a lot of noise. Similar to, say, a needle being lost in a haystack, so to speak. I'm definitely hearing that something that might help with that in October is to try taking a new perspective to things. Maybe while you pause and kind of take stock of what you have going on around you, you also try to look at a situation a different way. I think that some of this lapse in communication that's going to be happening in October seems to partially be caused by a game of telephone, so to speak. I get the feeling that there is a lot of messengers at play for some of the information you're going to be exchanging in October, and that's partially why things seem a little confusing for you. Yes, I'm feeling kind of a lot of chatter, so to speak. So just like I said about that game of telephone, there's going to be a lot of different words and messages being exchanged back and forth. So it might be a little jumbled to you in some of the things that you're specifically trying to listen to in October. I'm getting the strong feeling that these messages of advice is really tying back to what we mentioned at the beginning about you making a judgment about people in your circle and looking for the truth within some of the situations going on around you. I think that there is a real emphasis here too, especially when things are going to be feeling kind of jumbled in October, to make sure that you clean up some space and hold some space for stillness. For this entire part of the reading, I've definitely felt a lot of that noise and a lot of that mental blockage I was mentioning at the beginning in this situation, where it's almost like you're trying to hear a message, but it's gurgled because it's underwater, so to speak. I think that you're going to be looking very carefully in your surroundings to find the truth in things. And Spirit is saying that it's a good time for you to practice stillness, and the answers will come to you with some great clarity as long as you're patient and you maintain that stillness. So I'm going to be leaving you last with some encouraging messages from Spirit for October. Spirit, may I have some encouraging messages for my Geminis to bring into October, please? Ooh, and one more thing. I'm getting a message that some of you Geminis are going to be trying really hard to connect with a particular person in October. It could be a friend, but I'm definitely getting the feeling that it's more like a romantic partner for some of you. And I think some of that is what's being lost in communication for October. Maybe you guys are like really far away. Like I'm getting the impression that some of you guys might be dealing with a long distance relationship, and you're going to be waiting to hear from that person, but some things get lost in communication. Yes, I'm definitely hearing for sure for some of you guys there's a long distance relationship that might involve a big time difference is what I'm getting. And that makes some of the communication difficult. But we've got our first couple cards here. Joy is the ultimate creator. And my vibes speak louder than my words. I think that Spirit wants to remind you to, if things are feeling a little confusing in October, to just take a pause and go do something fun. Oftentimes, especially if we are waiting for something, if we go and have fun instead and not worry too much about kind of staying there waiting for our package, and we go do something else that we really enjoy, then time really flies. So I think Spirit is giving you an encouragement to still have fun in October and look for things that you really enjoy doing, and all this other miscommunication or waiting going on will go by a lot easier. When I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. I think that that is another affirmation that with everything in October, you know, as always, Spirit's got your back. So still go out and have some fun. Go find something that you would really enjoy doing, and Spirit will take care of the rest behind the scenes. You don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I think that that's what we've got for your reading for October today, Gemini. I hope some of this resonated with you, and I want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to read for you. If you feel called to, please feel free to leave a like and or subscribe. And thank you so much again. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.